Hi, and welcome to Find What Moves You. My name is Tracy, and it is my dream to inspire people to be active and healthy through their entire lives. And if you've seen any of the previous episodes, you'll know that physical, mental, and spiritual activity are all very important to me and things that I would like to inspire in other people. Today, I have with me someone who is very important to me, my good friend Manuela, and she is going to talk to us about her spiritual journey. So we've had a lot of physical activity in the previous segments, and I think I'd like to take this deep dive into the spiritual. So today, people will see on the screen, you've chosen the title Intuitive Artist and Lifestyle Explorer. So if you don't mind, would you just give us a brief explanation of what that means to you?
Sure. Thank you very much for having me and inviting me here. It's very exciting, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you. The title came because the artwork that I do is more of an intuitive type of artwork where I feel guided. I feel guided to start picking colors and then just making marks on the canvas and allowing the artwork to unfold naturally. And it's worked so well, and it's an exciting journey that I wanted to have that in my life as well, and just kind of allow my life to unfold naturally and just be guided more rather than trying to control everything. So having experienced that and practicing that, it has me wanting to explore more. It's just an exciting journey, and I can't wait to feel and experience more as I go.
Okay, so where I would like to start is just knowing, where did this journey start for you?
When I was born.
Well, it could be that.
Probably long before I was born.
Yeah.
But the actual knowing of that there's something more, there's something that is out, or within myself more, than the actual skin and bones of what we're looking at here today. I had an experience where I had one profound experience where I had lost a wallet, and I was guided to it was outside, and I was guided to a snow pile where there was a signpost, and around it was melted. It was in March, and the wallet was lost Friday. I discovered it was lost Saturday. I got a hold of the principal because I was at the school where where my son was going at the time. My daughter was just a baby. And so he opened the school, and we checked the school to see if anybody had turned it in or if it was lying around anywhere. So I'm now on my way home from the school, and right beside the school is this ambulance building and this sign. And just for some weird reason, I was told to go up to this hill and look inside where the snow had melted around the post. Where does that come from? Like, that to me was just like crazy. I looked, and my wallet was in there. So that was, without a doubt, gave me a lot of clarity that, you know what, there's something here. There's something like a lot more going on. So I then went home and canceled my credit cards and everything because there was no money and no cards left in it, no ID or anything. And after I'd canceled everything, I was still feeling like I needed to go. I needed to move around. I couldn't just stay at home. So I left, just going for a walk, just trying to get rid of some of this energy that I had going on. And I wasn't even a block down the road, and this was in Red Rock, where I had saw a young teenager walking along the other street. So we were kind of coming to meet at a corner, and I noticed that he had turned his head. And so whatever inspired me, I called him over. I know of him. Red Rock's a small town, so you know pretty much everybody. And I said, "Hey, come here." And as he got closer, I noticed he had my sunglasses on.
So that were in your wallet, I'm guessing, or with your wallet?
Yes, it was in the wallet. It was a small purse, and it was in the back of my stroller that I was pushing, so it must have fallen out.
So clearly this young man knows something.
Yeah, so in the end, I ended up getting all my ID, but I canceled all the cards and got new ones just because it was compromised. But it left me with a huge knowing that there's just something more powerful out there, and I didn't really explore it a whole lot from there. It's just sitting with the knowing. And so other things happened in my life as we go on that brought me closer and closer to really understanding who I am and what's my soul's purpose here.
I think that I've heard many times, and especially through going through the pandemic, people have come to go inwards more, and people are meditating more and knowing that, there's more out there for them, and listening to your inner self. Because there's a lot of times that maybe you would have gotten a pull to go out, but maybe you might not have listened because, oh, why would I do that? So do you find that now that you're paying attention to it more, do you find that you're being called more?
Absolutely. It's just an exciting journey when you do let go, and then wonderful things happen. While I was house sitting on a lake and in a really good space, is when you contacted me and asked me about this interview, and it's just like, oh, good things happen when you're feeling really good. So it was important to me that that you feel good and that you're in a relaxed state. And then just allow whatever ideas come to you, and kind of move around and make decisions based on your intuitiveness or being guided or being inspired.
So just from a curiosity standpoint, you and I have never talked about this before, but do you think when you're listening to that inner voice, do you think that you should sit with it? Or, often you'll get that snap decision and it's something that's just come to you. What do you tend to do more? Did you listen to the snap decision, or do you listen to something that says, be quiet, listen, and then it will come to you?
It just comes in so many various ways that you just need to relax and trust. Trusting is a big thing. Mm-hmm. So, when you feel that my first answer was like, oh, happy dance, because there are ideas that I get, and it's like, oh my goodness, that's awesome, and I just so want to do a happy dance.
Right.
Yeah, and then there are times where it's like, it's simple guidance, like, just drink water, or just chill and relax, or do nothing, or go for a walk. Whatever you feel inspired to. It's just, I'd like to try and incorporate as much of that into my day-to-day life because I've seen it work so well in my artwork, and I'm finding that when I incorporate and practice it in my life, it's just like, it's empowering because I'm getting messages, getting ideas, and it just leads me from one thing to the next. And well, you and I have known each other for a while, and you were inspired to reach out to me because you saw some graphics that I had done, and you needed some graphics done. I put together 3 ideas for you, and you loved the first one, and eventually I got to learn that I'll just do one because we're so connected and we click that it was there's a connection. I felt more and more that I'm inspired by a lot of people who are connected. I'm inspired by people who I feel are authentic. And so all of that inspires me. And the more people that I run into, and this Thunder Bay has just got amazing people in it, and so many creative people, but so many really nice people too, that it just, it unravels and people come to you through attraction too, and that's a big part of it. But
attraction.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that in the next segment. For now, we're just going to take a short break, and we'll come back and have that discussion.
Sure, sounds good.
Hi, and welcome back to Find What Moves You. I'm here with Manuela. We just started talking about the law of attraction, but I think we do want to discuss that, but there's a story that you want to share first, something that maybe brought you to the law of attraction. And if you please just go right ahead and share the story.
Thank you. In 2008, I attended my first Al-Anon meeting, and here is where there was a safe space for me to express myself. But if you didn't even want to talk, you could just listen. All growing up through my life, I thought family matters. You keep within the family. You don't share with anybody else. And so we've just dealt with anything that was of concern with our family. And it never went, I just told the whole world everything was fine, it was all great. But when I went to Al-Anon, it was a changing, life-changing experience for me, and more going into wanting to be my authentic self and wanting to express, like, who I am and how I really feel. So if anybody is, you're probably going to ask, what's Al-Anon about?
I am, yes. I just want everyone to know why Al-Anon for you, what it is, and why would you end up going to those meetings?
Right. Al-Anon is for anybody that is dealing with other people in their lives who have drinking concerns, and you find that they're affecting you. So they can affect you in a lot of different ways, but if you know of an alcoholic and their drinking is affecting you, then Al-Anon is a great place to go. I found that I was more or less obsessing about the alcoholic, and I just kind of got lost, and I felt numb. I didn't have any feelings really. At one point, I was speaking to a pastor, Reverend J.P. Schmidt, and he asked me if I talked to anybody. I said, no, I just talk to my family.
You keep it within the family.
Yeah,
That's it.
so everything got
it.
buried down, and nothing really got dealt with, and Al-Anon helped to bring that out. So I think there's like 8 different groups in the community. There's an Alateen for younger people, but if you don't find one group to be working for you, I really much encourage you to go and check out a different group, and until you find one that works for you. I ended up going to 2 because I just loved it so much. But from there I met some people, and then I've got to understanding about the law of attraction, and that really intrigued me as well.
So now tell us about the law of attraction. There's a lot of people I'm sure that have touched on it, but what does it mean for you, and how has it affected you?
Greatly. Ever since I've learned about the law of attraction, I have continued to listen to videos. You could search Abraham Hicks and the law of attraction. What you'll hear is Esther Hicks' voice, and she is a medium, so she's speaking and translating, I guess, vibrations from non-physical and expressing it in terms that we can understand. There's the law of gravity, and there's the law of attraction. Nobody really talks about the law of gravity, you just accept it. But the law of attraction, everyone's like, what is this?
A little woo-woo for everyone, right? Yeah, but that's okay. I feel like we can talk about this. There's a lot of people that believe in it, and there's a lot of people that move by it. So please share how it's moved you.
Well, in a nutshell, it just means to me, and a lot of what I express today is just what it means to me and how I understand it. But for me, it's whatever your thoughts are, that's what your life will be. So that is a powerful thing. So whatever you're giving thought to, you're carving or providing a path and shaping your life. Mm-hmm. So it was important that I think well, or I think healthy, that I have good inner thoughts and talk to myself well, instead of, beating yourself up and like, oh, geez, how could I be so silly or stupid?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't do that anymore, and I really pay attention, and I'm mindful to how and what I'm thinking about and how it affects me. And more or less with this intuitive artwork and other, living intuitively, I want to feel like I'm guided and doing whatever I need to do in order to try and be all that I can be, and maybe be of service somewhere down the road with all of that knowledge.
I think both of our understanding is that what you give energy to is what will come to pass. Mm-hmm. So if you're really putting a lot of thought and energy into being negative, that's probably what you're going to get in return.
Absolutely.
Truth?
Absolutely. So, I mean, like I was in a good place on the lake house, and then you sent me that message. It kind of snowballs, and more experiences come into your life and people come into your life that give you more things to appreciate, more things to love and feel good about when, what you're practicing is, how can I feel better? How can I feel my way through life? And I make decisions. I mean, last year I wanted to go on a trip in January, and then my mom got moved into long-term care. Moving day was December 20th, and it felt better to be here and stay here and help her with that transition than it did to try and rush her through that and then go on this vacation. So
I'm thinking it kind of goes to a question I asked earlier, whether you're making snap decisions or whether you're really sitting with things. And really sitting with things is a form of meditation, which is something I know you do too. So you're internalizing and you are not overthinking, but you're really looking for the answer within. And meditation is a big part of your life as well. So can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Meditation, it comes in a lot of different forms, and I'm not your typical meditator.
Which is my favorite kind. Yeah.
Yes, and meditating you can do in a lot of different ways. And you could be walking in the forest, like one of your guests that you had before, she talked about that, a forest walk, meditating. I like to sit in the hot tub and I find that I meditate. But anything that you can do to relax and calm the mind and try and still the mind, it seems that it opens up the vessels and allows all those ideas and messages and guidance to come through without restriction. Anytime you're feeling any negative emotion like anger, resentment, anything that's negative, they're like constricting that valve and not allowing those free-flowing, healthy messages to come through to guide you to, you know, what it is that's inspiring to you.
So there's a lot of things you said that I like people to know, because a lot of people think, and I've said this before, you have to be sitting in a place for 30 minutes with your hands on your knees and your eyes closed on a cushion or not, to call that meditating. It has to be very long and it can't be comfortable. But you're talking about something very different. You're talking about however long you would like to be there, that is meditation. Wherever you would like to do it, that is meditation for you. And you've brought one of your healing bowls with you today, which I asked you to do, of course, just because I want you to talk a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, anybody who wants to learn about meditation, I would highly recommend that they look up the name Gary Savitsky. He is a sound master sound healer in Thunder Bay, our very own community member here in Thunder Bay, and we are blessed to have him, and he has introduced me to the sound healing. My friend Jacqueline Wick actually introduced me to him, and I thought that there was a lot that was going on in my life already that helped me to relax and, you know, to get to a good place. And then I went to a sound healing session with Gary Savitsky, and it took me to a whole new level of relaxation. And when I do my artwork, I feel like I'm in just a, you know, peaceful state, which allows the guidance to come, and the results are phenomenal. Like, I mean, the artwork, I call it perfectly imperfect. It's not about the artwork, it's more about the process. So this is a Himalayan singing bowl, or a Tibetan singing bowl, and it's made up of 7 different metals. 2 of the metals that are mostly used in this bowl are copper and tin. And copper is said to vibrate love, and tin is said to vibrate wisdom.
I want to learn so much more about this, and we'll hear the bowl just right after this short break. Hi, and welcome back to Find What Moves You. We are here with Manuela, who is just about to share a little bit more about the healing bowls, which I am so interested in because I think that I find them very soothing, and you have a lot of information to share. So please go ahead.
Well, we'll talk about the bowl, but before I begin any meditating or quiet time with the bowl, it's always important to take 3 deep breaths, and that will that in itself, if you don't have a bowl, will help you to relax, is the deep breathing. So the breath is very important. So after 3 deep breaths, you feel more relaxed, then I can begin. This is a mallet, and then this is a rimmer, and I'll just demonstrate the mallet. And when I ring the bowl, and I'm going to hold it close to my mic, just to listen to it and listening to it fade away. For me, it just brings me to a whole new level of relaxation. One time I would lie down and I'd put this bowl on my chest and I would ring it on my own. And I think it was in minutes I fell asleep, but I intended that, you know, if I fall asleep, that's okay. I set my alarm. And I'll just do it one more time so we can all hear. There's a lot that's involved with the bowl and a lot of healing that can go on with the bowl. And again, if you do have any questions, I would highly recommend. I'm not professional at this, although I've taken 2 courses with Gary Savitsky in sound healing with a single bowl. And then I've gone to a lot of his classes. He also teaches a meditation.
So you were going to use the, were you going to use the
Would you
rimmer?
like me to?
Sure, just once,
Okay,
why not?
sure, absolutely. This is a rimmer. So it
You're
has
just gonna make-
felt, and you can begin to hear it.
That's a very different vibration.
That's called rimming the bowl, or, yeah.
Okay, so what brought you to this, to the healing bowls?
Well, my friend Jacqueline Wick introduced me to Gary Savitsky, and before that, I'm just, you notice that there's a pillow here, and this is the proper way to silence the bowl, and in order to honor the bowl, you place it on a pillow as a sign of respect for the bowl. And this one here is a hand-hammered bowl, so it's very special. It was gifted to me. But before I was introduced to the bowls, or maybe they were at the same time and around that time, my friend Jacqueline also encouraged me to go and take this art class with Angela Golat. And she was teaching painting as a spiritual practice. And that's where the artwork started. Before that, I was just painting like ceramic mice, or I was doing some window painting. But this was my first canvas painting. And it was like fireworks were going off inside of me. And I was so excited about, this whole process of there is no mistake, just let go and be guided. And all of those things were just electrifying for me.
So you could not do this wrong. Whatever is on the canvas, that is what is supposed to be.
Sure,
And that's what's going to make you feel.
Absolutely. It was
feel
a
a little better.
7-week painting class, and I couldn't wait to go back to the class. That I picked up a canvas and started painting at home because I had paint. And then what came from that was like, whoa. And what came from the class was like a huge whoa. And if you go to the website, ricklanddesigns.com, and you go to the About page, there is a story about Lilith, and that was the first painting that I did. Huge, huge significance in transformation and in my journey moving forward.
You and I talked about this. You did a series of paintings, and because it was over a long period of time, you have a different emotional times through each of those paintings, and they would bring you back to how you were feeling at the time, and it changed through the entire time because it took you a long time to do it.
Yes, I started I was guided to do a 10-piece collection. So I thought, okay, what, I wish we had more time because I could just talk about this forever. But it was like, okay, what is this collection going to be? And I decided I was going to call it the Dream It collection, so that I didn't have any parameters or lines and I could just paint outside the lines, type, so to speak. I started off, I think the first 3 pieces were just like, tra-la-la-la-la, this is wonderful, life is good, right? And then a lot of things started happening in my life and with family members as parents were aging, and we had my brother-in-law living with us, and he's going to be 64 on Thursday, this Thursday. He lived with us for 7 years. Talk about a good teacher right there. That, that experience has taught me so much. But this time where I was going through this 10-piece collection, I felt like I could look at one painting and I could say, the unconditional love painting, for example, number 7, my birth father, who lived in California, had passed away. I had seen him maybe 4 times, so we didn't have like a super close connection. But his ashes, the little urn of his ashes, were sent to me, and he didn't want to be on the table, in the corner in the living room. He wanted to be on the painting table with me, and I put aside artwork number 6 and started with a fresh canvas number 7. And so that was, to me, his energy was very much in that artwork. There was a lot of different times in my life where I have experience from non-physical joining me and participating in my artwork, or even like doing something as simple as shoveling and, you know, being there with me and making me feel better in some way.
So from here, like you just said, we could talk about this forever because we've done it before. Not forever, but for hours.
Yes.
But I would really like you to talk a little bit about the drive-by
Art gallery.
art gallery, sorry,
Yes.
that you have started.
This came from an idea during the pandemic, where there was an artist in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Janet Skates, and she posted a picture where she was supposed to have a gallery, but it got canceled because of COVID. And so she just she had great big canvas artwork, and she put it in her front yard, leaned it up against trees or whatever, and it was just so raw and just so cool, and I just love the whole idea. I did a screenshot of her picture and showed it to everybody and say, hey, what do you think about this? And finally, I made the decision just to dive in and try and see if we could do something like this in Thunder Bay, where I think that our community is oozing with talent in so many different ways, and we're blessed to be here with Amethyst Country, and that's a healing property. There's so many things that are going on that are amazing just in our community. But when people and artists are painting, they tend just to have their canvases in storage. And I'm thinking, no, get it out there, let people see it. So the Drive-By Art Gallery is the idea. We've done it for 2 summers, and the first year was great. The second year was a little slower because there was more things going on. So we're gonna hone in and try and expand on it and make it better every year. But that's where artists set up an art gallery in their own yard. And everyone is provided with a list of addresses, and they were on like the City of Thunder Bay's tour app on your phone. You can be guided to each location, or you can just get a printout of a copy. I'll send a PDF, or the picture or JPEG is provided on our group page. We have a Facebook group page called T-Bay Drive-By Art Gallery. We have over 1,000 members, so most of them, of course, are people who want art or love art. And I just wanted to provide a place where people felt comfortable showing their artwork and selling their artwork.
I am so happy you did that, and then people get to know about it now. Thank you so much for coming and telling your story today. I appreciate it so much, and your friendship as well. Until next time, thank you for watching.